Hello, Lulu, Lulu. You guys can see, you guys can hear, you guys can do everything your heart desires. Seems like it does. Seems like we're good. Let me just get this mouse all the way where I can access it. My space is a little bit of a mess. That's fine. Who needs cleanliness when you got a stream? There's a stream happening. I need to do this now. Hey Sans, how you doing? Okay. Gotta move this thing. Move you where I can see you. Move that so that's lit up properly. Okay. And other than that, we should be good. Turn off this light. That light. Okay. Sorry, I've been getting everything last minute. I was kind of busy today, and I'm setting everything up for you guys so it could all be as good as it should be. You can see me appear on screen now. Hello, let's see. Do I look good? Are we good? I still have like a little bit of a haze here in the background, but that should be fine. That's just my shadow. Um, let's see. I just need to change one thing here. Let's see here. I need to change this so that it is shows me. There we go. There we go. There we go. Now you can hear me. Okay. All right. Perfect. So you guys can see me. You can hear me. You can do everything. Perfect. 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 So, as you can see, a little bit of a doozy today. Yeah, we got this guy. It's never good news when we see this guy in the news. And we got something going on here with PlayStation, and obviously, we love the Iron Lung. For those who saw it, we'll talk about it a little bit later. But this is great. We love to see it. We love to see all of this. But without further ado, I think I made you guys wait long enough. Me being uh occupied and everything. But let's go ahead and start with the doozy of this news, and we'll just take the bad news right out of it, starting off really strongly. Let's talk about this guy right here. So basically, it's wrong thing. There we go. Should be good. All right. So now that I'm clicking on what I'm supposed to be clicking, so the ex CEO they just found out that, so basically they just found out that the ex CEO of Activision had exchanged a couple of emails with America's infamous Epstein, whatever his name was, the guy Epstein, right? So apparently they were exchanging emails with each other, and the funny thing is that during these emails, there's a couple of information showing how Epstein was also getting his hands on the video game space of things, right? So he had a couple of like very brilliant ideas for a man of his manipulative caliber. So basically, this guy started going and talking with the XEO, and he was one of the ones that started really pushing the idea of microtransactions, but more specifically, microtransactions as a Coinbase. As literally in the emails, you can see that when they were talking, then you can literally see that it says that they wanted to indoctrinate kids into USD an economy, right? What do they mean by indoctrinating kids into an economy? Well, in the video game space, it's the all those crypto or microtransaction coins that you see. You no longer bought, right? You no longer bought an item and we tell you the price in USD. No, it would just show you this fictitious coin that you could buy, and you could then use those coins to get in-game cosmetics. And obviously, they would be equivalent to some USD price and all that kind of stuff. But it could be leveraged to be a little bit more manipulated in a lot of different ways. And so the thing is that they started pushing this really hard. And not only were they pushing this, they were also not happy that it got out. As shortly after I read this article, it actually got taken down. You can't read this article anymore. I had to go do the Wayback Machine in order to find this particular article where it showed the actual, email exchange between them. But basically, they were already talking about how to get kids into a virtual economy that would grant them video game goods in order for them to get more money out of it. In other words, what we've always known, which is that it's very predatory. And now we have proof that has been targeted towards kids. And not only that, we know that what they want is for that little kid to go and be like, Ma, I want a new skin. I want a new skin from this one game. And since you don't care about video games, you could get me the skin. It's going to be like, I don't know, like 20 points, 20 CP points. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, mommy. Give me your credit card, please. I'm going to buy more skins. So that's kind of what they were hoping for. They were hoping for you as a kid to go to your parents and ask them to buy this currency. And a lot of times, once again, these currency, there's a lot of studies showing that these currencies have used a lot of practices to kind of muddy the waters of their USD equivalent. Basically, 2,000, you would get like, what was it? 2,000, you could only buy through packages, right? So unlike when you want to buy something directly, right, with USD, you can see the price, buy it, there you go, you got it, and that's it, right? That exact amount is what you got. But with this new crypto, I'm not even going to call it crypto because I don't want it to be confused with cryptocurrency. With this new microtransaction or like virtual coin, what they could do is they could make you buy bundles of those coins that was not equivalent to the actual price of the goods that you wanted, meaning that you either have a little bit more than what you want, you would always pay a little bit more or a little bit less. And when you would buy one thing, you needed to buy the thing, you need to buy more CP again in order to be able to make up for the difference that you had. So you always gave them a little bit more money than you wanted to, or and they wanted to do that. It was intentional. It was a manipulative tactic that they were using, and this just shows that apparently Epstein was involved with more things about children than we thought about. And this included the video game space. And once again, Activision wasn't very happy, so it seems like they took this article out with the email. Instead, there's some articles talking about why it's a problem, and they go a little bit more detail about specifically the whole Call of Duty points thing. Now, here's the very interesting part about Call of Duty points. It seems like he was also involved in the naming of these new currencies for Call of Duty. And is it a coincidence? Just a little bit of a coincidence that it's called CP? That the abbreviation for Call of Duty points, it's CP. It's almost as if you want people to look up CP and not think about the other potential definitions for CP. Cerebral palsy, right? That's what they mean. Call of Duty points, of course, they don't mean anything else when they talk about CP. So clearly, this, in retrospect, not a good look for Call of Duty. But this is not great. This doesn't look good. I know it's COD points, but like, ooh, that's kind of looking bad now, especially with our known connections that you have with Epstein, or at least had with Epstein. I'm not claiming in any way, shape, or form that the CEO himself partook in these CP shenanigans. More so that they nonetheless colluded to try to manipulate kids and the way they would interact with video games, and that's why we see microtransactions and specifically like made up virtual coins so prominent in the video game space. So that's what I'm calling out. I don't want to point finger saying that the current the previous CDO did anything of that, or that he even was in the island. I don't know any of that. All we know is that they had some influence with Epstein about the creation of COD points. So not looking so great. Not looking so great. But regardless, that's kind of all we know regarding that, unless, more as the more documentations come by and we learn more about those emails exchanged, maybe we'll see if there's something else. But for now, this is all we have, right? So I don't want to push too much of a narrative on the other side. Regardless, that being said, one of the other news that I want to talk about is about Overwatch. So Overwatch is dying. Well, Overwatch 2, the name is dying, technically speaking, because apparently Overwatch just realized what you and I kind of knew all along, which is that this Overwatch 2 is kind of stupid for a MOBA-ish game, right? So we knew this going forward, and we even criticized it when it was happening, but no. We know better than you. We know that Overwatch 2, we need the rebranding of 2, because that way we can get you to buy the game again, because it's a different game, guys. It's not the same game. It's a different game. So that's what they were doing, or that's the idea they were pushing back in the day. And suddenly, as Overwatch 2 has kind of been declining in players recently, they suddenly say, no, guys, you were right. You were right. It was stupid of us to think that Overwatch 2 was a thing. It's clearly just Overwatch 1 with extra features. So, you know what? We've listened to you, and this is going to show some trust that we do listen to you. We're going to change it back. We're changing it back, baby. It's no longer so Overwatch 2. It's just Overwatch, baby. It's just that. It's just that. See, we're listening. We're listening. So they're changing it back to Overwatch 2. Back to Overwatch normal, like without any number or anything like that. Now, the thing with this name change is that they're actually starting to add some additional stuff that we've been asking since the beginning of Overwatch. You know that story? You know that campaign version that they said a long time ago that they were going to do in Overwatch 1 and they never did? And then when Overwatch 2 was announced, they were like, no, we're going to do it this time. This time it's going to happen. And it didn't happen. Whoa. Guys. I'm not a fool, okay? Can't be surprised, but this time that they're moving back to just Overwatch plain, they're going to do it this time. You believe me, guys. This time there's gonna be a story mode. We've learned from the mistakes. Third time's a charge. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Fool me 3 times. I'm just an idiot. But that doesn't matter, because this time they're not gonna fool me. They're not gonna fool me. They're gonna actually add it this time. We're gonna get a new story mode. We're gonna start seeing more stuff with the next season, which they went back to season 1 for some reason. Oh, right, because of the rebranding. The season 1 of the I forgot the name of the or it's right here. The Reign of Talent, right? So during the season 1, there are going to be more chapters getting released, and so we're going to start seeing a lot of those. We're going to start seeing a lot of the campaign that they promised us 5 years ago, maybe more. How long has it been since Overwatch 1 got released? Regardless, it's been a while that they've been saying that they're going to do it, but they finally got it, or according to them, they finally got it. So that's their brand new rebranding. We're moving back to Overwatch, just Overwatch, and we're moving back to adding stories. And the stories is going to add new characters, and the new characters and the story is also going to change the maps and stuff like that, yada, yada, yada. So they're really trying to get that attention back, especially since there has been a lot of loss in attention for a while. So yeah, what do you think? Do you think Overwatch is actually gonna do it right this time, or do you think this is just another, once again, then saying we're gonna do it, guys, we got it, we gotta give it to you, but not really, but whenever we say we're gonna do it, you suddenly come and play again, so we're gonna do it. Are you being fooled? What do you believe in this time? Let me know. Just taking a break and seeing the comments. Don't don't abbreviate COD points like that. Michael, don't abbreviate Call of Duty points. Apparently Freddy Fazbear is in the Epstein files. Yes, and also the entirety, the entirety of the manual of the batch scripts are in the Epstein files. You can look it up if you go to the website where they have the Epstein files. You can look it up, all the files that they have on Epstein, and one of the files is just the bash manual for how to use bash. I really expected more from bash. They used to be a people's man, but unfortunately, you never know with these coding algorithms anymore. I guess I'm gonna have to start just focusing on Linux or assembly, whatever is in bash, honestly. But unfortunately, that's true. Bash has been outed. Bash is part of Epstein. It's sad. It's a sad day for all us computer nerds and computer programmers out there. We had it good. We had it good when we had it. Regardless, Red Spy reveals a company. Red Spy reveal a company. I don't know about that news. And I'm pressing X to doubt for this one. Yeah. We'll see. They seem to be just like last time. There's a lot of promotional things going on with the Overwatch and stating that it's gonna come out. I am also very doubting. I doubt a lot, but maybe this is a way they revive the game. Who knows? I don't play it that much, and it doesn't seem like you do either. But there are people out there who still play it religiously. But I think Marvel Rivals just is kind of eating their cake right now. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see if it actually revives Overwatch overall, right? So that being said, here's like for Overwatch, here's like the new rebranding once again. This is the new UI. They want to change it. Like, ooh, new. This is, according to them, this is like, oh, this is what we always envisioned for Overwatch. This is clearly what we wanted from the beginning. So this is the new format that they're gonna have. It's gonna be the story mode, and you're gonna have a bunch of different chapters coming out. So that's what they're claiming. We'll have to see once again if it actually comes out that way or if they end up being a dud once more. Regardless, we now have the next news, which is something very interesting. So, PlayStation was one of those guys. So, PlayStation came up and wait a second. I gotta look for something. Where is it? I'm pretty sure I have it around here. Yep. Just give me a sec, guys. Just give me 1 second. 1 second. This takes nothing. Nothing. Nothing matter. Come on. Yes. Oh, wait. There we go. I can take it out. You know how great this is. This is surprisingly one of the best seats we got. Okay. So PlayStation basically went and said, hear me out. Hear me out. I've got a great idea. I have an amazing idea. I think we should start a podcast. No. A PlayStation podcast. Yeah. Nobody has ever thought of it. Nobody. I mean, there are barely any podcasts out there nowadays. Why shouldn't we do it? We're so funny, you and I. We're really great. I think if we did a podcast, we'd be really successful. And what if we included our games in the podcast? We make a lot of games, don't we? You and I? We make games. So since we make games, might as well include those games in the podcast, right? I'm telling you, this idea is revolutionary. It'll Nobody has ever done this. So that was PlayStation. PlayStation was one of those guys out there that always thinks we should start a podcast because we got intellectual stuff that we got to say. So that's what they've been pushing towards recently. As we can see here. So the gimmick here is that they just did a patent about a podcast that you would be able to just kind of click in your home screen that would tell you news related to the games that you've been playing, and then it would look at what games you've been playing and try to, with AI, of course, with AI, try to mimic the characters that you're playing, and then they tell you the news or anything interesting related to video games, probably to PS5 and stuff like that. So what I'm hearing is them fighting words. Saying they want to take my job. I'm no podcast. I'm not, but I'm giving the news. I might not sound like Kratos. And I might not look like Pedro Pascal or Joel. But I think I do a pretty good job at giving you the news. And they want to take it away from me. They want to use their fancy AI with all their fancy IP and think that with that, you can make a successful podcast that will give you all the gaming news you need. Or that. Regardless, that's exactly what they're trying to do. They're hoping that with this information, with this patent, they could eventually make it. Now, let's be completely honest. Since it's just a patent, we haven't seen any news regarding that, like actually regarding that. It's very likely that it's not that they're actually going to start a podcast like this. It's probably because they're trying to save, their own asses, because right now AI has been getting better at mimicking sounds, and it has getting better. And since people have access to all those video games, anybody could technically get any video game character, clone them and their voice with AI, and start their own podcast talking about honestly whatever, and and just maybe be successful. But the thing is that them having this patent will allow them to be able to kind of sue anybody if they were to try this, right? Because infringing IP and all this kind of stuff that gets involved. But basically, having this in their toolbox allows them to sue anybody if they were to pursue doing this with any of their game IPs in the future. Or I wouldn't even be surprised if it's also anybody using any PlayStation IP voice with AI on any type of platform, whether that be a meme on YouTube, whether that be a actual like ad or a podcast, as we see here. So clearly, I don't think that they're actually going to do it. I genuinely don't think, but they have to sell it as if they are going to implement it on their PlayStation so that they can patent it. And I think that's what's happening right now. They just want to avoid somebody actually creating this for themselves and then getting money. Somebody getting rich off of their IP? Impossible. How could you? So that's what they're trying to prevent there right now. So very interesting things. Would you want to hear Joel or Kratos give you the news, telling you how you're a bad player, maybe telling you some tips on how to pass the game with their previous AI patent that we talked about not too long ago, telling you should press that A button more, or you should do the dash here, or do dash there, or attack double combo over here. Like maybe you like that kind of stuff. I mean, I'll let you know. Kratos, that's a sexy voice, my friend. I wouldn't mind having him talk. But he is a person, right? It might be the character Kratos, but the voice actor is actually a thing, and they don't have control over the voice actor. So how does that play? Who knows? That's for the legal team. That's not for me. Taking a pause to see comments. So, that doesn't look like a good launcher. Don't you come here and start criticizing my launcher. This is a good launcher. It holds me. It does whatever I need. It's collapsible. How dare you judge my launcher? How dare you? Damn it, popped the AI bubble already. I completely agree. ask the voice actors to return in the podcast. I agree. I agree. That's what I was saying. I think that if you're gonna do this kind of thing, then by that at that point, don't just hire the actors to like be in a podcast. But the thing is, if you do that, it's not they in the patent, what they want is for it to be catered to you, the player, and specifically to what maybe you're playing or what you're struggling with or anything related to you, not a general podcast. It's just in a podcast format, but not actually a podcast, right? So that's the idea. Like every person would, I ideally for them, every person would see their a completely different podcast catered to them as a player. Um, so that would be impossible for you to actually hire a voice actor to do all those lines because then you would have to predict how everybody's interactions, and then you probably have a lot of repeat sayings. So it's not that simple. It's the exact same problem as hey, fill me up, and then you just keep grouping through all those voice lines over and over and over again. So this is why it's really hard, and why I'm not surprised they probably in the future will start using AI voices to actually make a quote unquote unique experience and unique dialogues every single time the player talks to an NPC. But that's kind of neither here nor there. There hasn't been anything confirmed. It's just my theories on the matter. Regardless, that's what PlayStation has been up to recently. Just keep getting more patents under the belt. They just keep doing more. They're just copying from Nintendo at this point. They just don't want people to steal their ideas. They're one of a kind ideas. So, that being said, we have news regarding Roblox. So, what you can see is that Roblox, we already know, has been struggling a lot recently. I wonder why, though. It's not like there's a bunch of children in that. And we already talked about Epstein and their involvement in video games. And now we're seeing uh, Roblox getting sued because of video game related things regarding not being so safe for kids. Like, yeah, not the best time to be Roblox right now. But according to them and according to the report, they actually did really well this year. Surprisingly well, in fact, as they reported that they had roughly 2026 they had a I'm trying to find the percentages. Am I covering it? They had a 10% capture of the entire global market, and they saw around 23% extended trading in their platform. So overall, they saw success this year. It's honestly not looking bad for them, but but they are trying, and they said that this is going to be their last year of them revealing these yearly reports of their growth. Why may that be? Well, they're trying to say that it's like, oh no, because we're not focusing on money making right now. We're focusing on making the security features for the children so they can be safe in our platform. And that's why we might not make as much money. It's for the kids. It's for the kids. Not because they are actively getting sued in every single country at this point, and also they are losing some people now that Fortnite is actually trying to eat up their market. So no. It's investors, don't worry. Investors, no. Listen. Fortnite might be doing their thing, but we're still giants. We're still great. We're still the top kid in the block. Look. We have like 33% of the market. Come on, investors. You gotta trust us. We're Roblox. You know me. Don't listen to Fortnite. We're Roblox. We always have kids playing our games, right? So right now, that's what they're trying to push. They're trying to sell it as a I'm doing really good. It's just that we want to focus on other things other than making money for this year. Thus, we're not gonna report it because obviously they know that this upcoming year it's not gonna be trending that well for them. Either stagnating or flat out just dropping. And in that same interview, they do mention that, oh, there's another reason we can't like give you our predictions of the year because our games. Here's the thing: you don't know this, investor, but this is how video games work. Our games are based on the market. Our games are based on virality, on whether a mini game becomes popular. Our games are based on whether kids suddenly say, "Oh my God, that new Steal Your Rock game is so good, right? So there's no way for us to predict how our market is gonna do. We can't manipulate it in any way. So it's really we can't really predict how well the game is gonna do because games are different. It all depends on if it's popular or not, or if it's viral, which is funny thing for them to say, considering that's literally the case for every single game that has ever been published in the market. You don't know how well a game is gonna do. It all depends on its virality, on its popularity, and on whether people actually enjoy playing it or not. So them stating, "No, we're not gonna show you our yearly predictions because there's no way of us predicting it," is kind of absurd to me because that's always been the case, right? But once again, this is all excuses they're throwing so that they can kind of hide and say, "Hey, don't look at our numbers next year. Okay, we're not gonna do as great, but that's okay. It's already planned. Actually, not planned because we don't know what's gonna happen. But don't worry, it's acceptable risk. It's acceptable risk. You should not take your money out of us, investors. Please, we're gonna be good. Please, just don't take your money out. I need it. I need to pay my yacht, man. My yacht, my fifth one. I want it." So that's kind of how they're reacting right now, funnily enough. So yeah, they might be looking good in the books right now, but who's to say how long that's going to last? And if they're not showing us their numbers other than their quarterly reviews, then it's going to be harder for investors to really, put their money on this thing. So we'll see. We'll see how Roblox does. We'll see if Fortnite actually starts taking more of the market like they intend to do. So still very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff that's happening with Roblox. Proud to say I haven't scanned my face. Well, why would you when you can get a perfectly nice doll to do it? I don't know. I'm pretty sure this banana could also pass that damn scanning test. Does that look like a face to you? Does this look like a face to you? Yeah, it's right now. There you go. That's a face only a mother could love, right there. I love how that's green screen is taking that. Regardless, yeah, it's kids are not even kids are scanning their faces. So and then not even adults are scanning their own faces either. So this doesn't really solve the issue of potential predators in the game. But that's we've covered that already in the past. Um, POV how Vox tried to convince Alistair to join the V's. Pretty much. It moved to escape tsunamis now. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's very interesting. This my yacht. We move our yachts all the time, to prevent weather, problems. But we need your money to do that. If don't you understand? Hey kid, how you doing? I want you to understand, as a big CEO from a giant company that's targeted mostly towards kids, I want you to know your money matters. So, what you should do is you go to your mom's purse. That really, really nice looking purse, the one that has usually some type of Louis Vuitton or Gucci or it's usually brown or black. Uh Purse, yeah, that one. That one. Get and the one that has a little bit of chains on it, that's even better. Get that one instead. And then there might be either a purse or something, and that might have your mom's credit card. So all you need to give to me, and I can give you everything you want in Roblox. Absolutely everything you want in Roblox. All you need to do is give me the digits in the front. You know how to count? Of course you don't. All you have to do is send me a picture. You know how to send pictures, right? Yeah, I know you do. I know you do. So just send me a picture. Use it as a little scanny thing. Instead of scanning your face, just scan the little credit card and we'll have everything you want. We'll make sure to put your money where it needs to be put so you can have everything you want. Trust me with your money. Nice little reference there. Anyways, so yeah, I love how we've been proving year by year how these companies, AAA companies, have been really focusing on taking money from children. That's their main demographic, and they try to hide it every single year. But it's more blatant every single time that's what they're going for. So funny stuff. Regardless, next news is talking about Epic. So Fortnite, sorry, not. So Roblox is not the only one that has been getting very, very desperate recently, as we now have Epic trying to do whatever they can to get that market. They're really trying to kick it to Steam. They are saying, no, guys, you gotta use Epic. It's the best platform. You gotta use Epic, because in Epic, you're gonna get some free games. That's exactly what they're saying. So they're basically, they came in and started talking about how, and during this interview, how they've been giving out more free games and they plan on giving out more free games in the future. So why wouldn't you use Epic? They're really trying hard, guys. It's the Epic store, right? You're either going against Steam or Epic, and Epic right now is really trying to prove, guys, we're for you. I'm doing this for you. Look, free games. I'm not getting any money out of that. It's free. It's free. We just want you to buy in our market. Pay the percentage that we get, so we can get. So if you get all your games in our market, then you'll want to get more games through our market. Isn't that what we want? Have your friends join Epic as well. They can have free games. Why wouldn't you want them to play free games? You, get your mother, get your kids, get everybody, because Epic is giving out free games. In fact, here's some nice statistics about how many free games I've given out recently. We have 100 games that have been offered for free last year. And out of those, we have 78% of them have been showing a nice average score of those games, meaning that if you know game scores, it's pretty good. It's not. Literally, almost every game gets a 7 out of 10. That almost never deviates. So they're giving you pretty average games. 78% game score. That's pretty average games for free. But we're giving it to you. They're also giving you AAA products. And look, guys, this is how many games we've given out, right? For 100 free games, but 662 million free games sold. I mean, what more proof do you want? This is how much money we've saved. This is how much money we saved you last year. So, yeah. This is, once again, just them really trying to go against Steam to get that market. The question here is, there is a lot of lawsuits, and we talked about it last week, about the lawsuits regarding Steam and Steam's competition, whether it's a monopoly and all that. And I leave that decision to you. And by all means, if they're giving free games, you should take advantage of it. A free game is a free game, regardless of the market that is selling it. But be wary, they might start with free games now. But that's not how it stays. Every single major company that we know nowadays, tech company, started out at a loss. Uber started out at a loss. Any like Uber Eats and all of these like food apps and stuff like that started out as a loss. YouTube started out as a loss. Every single major company, tech company that we've seen up until this point has started out in a loss. And what they're doing here is precisely that. They're starting out in a loss. And what will eventually happen once they actually get the size of the market that they want through these free gifts is that they're going to start gouging you for that money, for that additional price. So I'm not saying don't take advantage of the free gifts. I'm just telling you to be critical about it. Don't sell your loyalty to one marketplace. And this includes Steam. Don't sell your loyalty to one market just because it gives you free games. Take advantage of it. Be a smart consumer. Be a smart spender. And spend your money on games and make sure you get the best deal for whatever market you do, whether that's Steam, Epic, or Play Store, whatever it is. If you get a free game, take advantage of it, but don't be married to one market. Once again, they did try their hardest, and they're hey, it might suck for them, but it's a great opportunity for you and me. So take advantage of it while it lasts. Now, the next thing we want to talk about is you've seen it, right? You've seen it. It's not just me. Every single major company that has tried to get into gaming has been pulling back. But but Crunchyroll said, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. We're gonna corner the market. We're gonna put anime games out there. That's gonna be our niche. So now Crunchyroll has been entering into the video game space with their video game corner, I think is how they call it, their gaming corner on Crunchyroll. Why are they doing this? Well, because they get to charge you a little bit less, a little bit more for that subscription. And it doesn't matter whether you use these games or not, if you ever play these games or not, we're still gonna charge you because it's a service we're providing. It is a service I'm giving to you. So I need to get my fair share, right? I don't care if you don't use it. In the end of the day, I'm providing it. So as I'm providing it, they're increasing their prices. And because they're increasing their prices, they're now trying to make some games and make them exclusive to Crunchyroll, similar to how Amazon did it, similar to how Netflix did it. Everybody kind of has an idea and they think that they can get into the video game space and it's so easy, and yet they all fail. So we'll see how Crunchyroll does it. That being said, the niche is there. Anime niche does exist. And I will say, their gaming catalog kind of looks really nice. This you saw in the picture before a couple of games. They have a couple more games here. You see, they have Steins Gate. By the way, I have Steins Gate for the Switch. Steins Gate, the visual novel is as good as the anime. It's really good. If you haven't played it, I highly suggest you play it. And if you're already paying for the Crunchyroll subscription, why not give it a try? Also, Corpse Party, a really famous horror game. This one is very infamous. I remember growing up with this. So, Corpse Party, another one. If you're already paying for Crunchyroll, might as well try it out. These two games I know are really good. I also I don't know about these ones. Wait, Crypta the Necrodancer. That one's also really good. I don't know about this one, and I don't know what the last one over there. But overall, these three games right up front are honestly really good games that you should give it a try. And if you're paying for Crunchyroll, might as well take advantage of the things that you're getting, especially since they're gonna charge you for them anyways. Still, this is them trying to get into the video game market through the anime space and through the anime niche. And who knows, maybe they'll be successful. It's not like, once again, Amazon nor Netflix tried, which are bigger giants in this field and have failed so far. But you'll be different, right? Because you have anime on your side. You have Japan on your side. You know, those guys, they can't do anything wrong. Ever. They've never done anything wrong. Anyways, so that's what they're doing right now. We're seeing another group of people trying to get into the video game space that are not, and they're all streaming platforms, by the way. They all start with movies, and then they think that video games are just like movies, and what is this trend with like Netflix, Amazon, and now Crunchyroll, and anything that's like giving you films, they want to tell you a game. It's so weird. They should just stick to what they do. They give you good shows. I like Crunchyroll. I pay for it. It's very nice. I like seeing the shows that they provide. But it's like, why? Like, you don't need to do the video game aspect. I know it's just them trying to like charge a little bit more money for their subscription. Like, they technically are more valuable now. But come on. Come on. Regardless, that's the news for Crunchyroll. What do you think? Do you think they're actually gonna succeed compared to Netflix and Amazon? Do you think they're gonna do better? Who knows? They have the power of anime on their side, so they probably will. Let me just take a break. My throat is dry, and my cap fell. Ugh. All right, so let's see here. Haven't redeemed a Roblox gift card in a few years, and I get paid 100 Robux for doing activity checks on mods and Discord server. Yeah, whatever advantage you can take, by all means, take advantage of it. Free money is free money, no matter how you look at it. Steam also gives out free games. That's true. Steam also gives out free games, but they're being more aggressive. Compared to Steam, they're actually trying to put some AAA games not just deals for those AAA games. They're trying to give free AAA games and free indie games. In fact, there was this interesting reaction where there was a game that was released for free on the Epic Store, and people saw that it was free, saw that they liked the game, and then instead of getting it through Epic, they went and bought it at a discount in Steam. So like, people really don't want to use Epic, but this is just my proof that like, ooh, ooh, people don't trust Epic right now, and them giving out free games, people would prefer to go to Steam and pay it there than actually buy them through Epic. So that's very interesting that happened. Tech wasn't invested in a day. I completely agree. Show streaming companies should stay in their lane. Oh, well, be careful there. Be careful. I kind of agree. But you're sounding kind of, that's kind of dictatorish of you. You don't tell them to stay in their lane. That can go nasty. That can go nasty. You don't want to say that. You don't want to say that. You should encourage them to focus on what they're really good at, which is not making video games. But hey, one day, one of them could surprise us. We don't know what the future holds, and it wouldn't be the first time but we've been surprised. So who knows? One-time purchase are key of saving money. I agree. Not gonna lie, when I had a Steam credit card, when I had Steam credit, I was thinking of buying Corpse Party. Well, if you have Crunchyroll, you can play Corpse Party. It's I've never played it myself. I had a friend who did have the game when I was younger, and I saw them play through it. And then that got me in a whole spiral. I watched a whole playthrough with a bunch of different endings. I read all the mangas that existed on Corpse Party. I even watched the animes. So like, I've been obsessed. I've had my Corpse Party phase in the past. So like, I know a lot about this game, and I know it's a good game, good story. So if you haven't actually played it before, and you haven't been spoiled, and you haven't seen anything about it before, I highly suggest you play it. And once again, if you have a Crunchyroll subscription, might as well. It's already there. It's free for you. Might as well take advantage of it and play it. All right. So with that said, now we've been giving a little bit of like not so great news. I mean, this one, it wasn't so bad. It's giving you opportunities to play games, but we have seen not so great news. But there's one thing that came out this week that's like really good and we really love. Well, actually, two things, but one thing that I'm going to highlight right now, which is that in Fortnite's latest update, we just got your favorite artist, Chaperone into Fortnite. And this includes all your favorite customization. So it includes your Cowboy Bebop skins, and you could. I'm not gonna act like I know the actual skins. I just know they're like skins that she's worn in shows, like outfits she worn in shows and stuff like that. So that's really nice. It's just another inclusion of artists that have been added to Fortnite for people to play as, and honestly, that's great. I love that Chaperone got her own thing. Once again, I believe in your favorite artist. I love that line, and she coined it. That's like peak writing right there. Regardless, Chaperone is now in Fortnite, and you can play and slay as Chaperone now if you go into Fortnite and buy the skins. And once again, it's not just her skin. There's a couple of cosmetics included with her skin that you can get separately, and just look great while doing it. Look drag queen. All right, so go ahead, check out Chaperone's new skin in Fortnite. A lot of fun. This for the girlies. I love it. For the girlies. Now, that being said, that's the general news that I wanted to talk about, right? So there is one thing that I always talk about at the end of the news recap, which is what is the game highlight of this week. And some of you might have guessed by now what's the game highlight for this week. But if you didn't know, this weekend, a famous YouTuber called Markiplier, which we all love, Markiplier posted their not posted, they published, distributed, I'm going to call it published, their very own movie, full movie. And it's based on a game called Iron Lung. So I decided, why don't we take a look at Iron Lung? Especially because the movie that came out with Markiplier, I went and saw it, by the way. The movie was actually really damn good, had me on the edge of my seat the entire time. And overall, at first you see Markiplier and then you lose Markiplier. He's just his character, and his acting is so well done. The camera takes are so well done. Once again, really good film. So since I really enjoyed this film all around, I went and thought, we have to see how that affected the market, right? This movie has been super successful, so much as being number one 2 times during 2 different days in the weekend. They were the number one film seen in the entirety of the US and Australia, if I'm not mistaken. So pretty much this is all very great. Hey, Markiplier, if you ever by some miracle see this, please talk to Caribbean cinemas and like maybe try to get that film in Puerto Rico. I know a couple of people, friends, who would actually love to see that film, but they can't because we don't have Royal cinemas or AMC over there. So maybe if you by any luck you see it, and then going forward, if you do make a contract, I'm gonna say it was me. Okay, I'm gonna take the credit for it because you obviously saw this video. So there's that. Right, really great film. So since it was a really great film, let's go ahead and take a look at how it actually performed. Now, if we take a look, this is before the film, right? This is leading up to the film. So we have from January of start of this year of 2025. We have start of 2025, and overall during this time, you see some spikes here and there, but during this time, it was just staying like around 0.02 gems. That's on average. That's the average I was seeing there, which is to be expected. It's not a long game whatsoever. I think it's like a max an hour playthrough to play the game. And once you play it, you're kind of done. You don't really play it again. So due to this, it's definitely the type of game where you would want to just kind of have a, what you call it? It's definitely the kind of game where you would just play it once and then not play it again, and thus the score would be very low unless there's a huge rise of a bunch of people playing this game. But there's no multiplayer, it's just a single player story, so it makes sense that it has such a low score on average. But as you can see, as we started getting closer to the release date of the movie Iron Lung, and we saw more and more advertisements and promotional content about it, we started seeing some higher peaks here and there. We started seeing more and more content, and then we even see this peak right here where it almost reached 1 full gem. Here I saw 0.9 gems right in this peak right here. So overall, it did see a good amount of like traction, but this might look good. But then we take a look at what happened this weekend. And looking at this weekend, we can see that this weekend we had the highest peak we've ever recorded for this game. That's the previous high peak we saw before. That's a 0.9. Instead, this weekend, it saw a peak score of 5.86 gems. So overall, saw a really nice jump from barely reaching 1 gem to suddenly reaching to 5.86, almost 6 full gems, which is really good. Once again, if you take a look at the indie games usually struggle to reach the 10 gem score. So seeing it reach half of that is really good for it, and it's doing really well. So it just looks like I'm patting the chat. I don't know if I can move it a little bit. Let me move the chat. Let me move the chat. Oh, I'm moving myself. That's not what we want. Keep doing it. Oh, there you go. We'll put you over here then. All right. So that's what I was saying. So basically, this weekend, as Iron Lung came out, a lot of people, not only, which makes sense, a lot of people started looking up information about Iron Lung, started playing Iron Lung, and so other than just watching Iron Lung. So Markiplier managed to get this game during this weekend to get a peak of 5.86 gems. really nice performance for an indie game that's very short. Once again, it's like almost an hour of playtime. So it's really good performance for such a short game. It did, however, go down a little bit afterwards, but you can see it's still staying in it around a higher average than its previous peak right here. It's kind of staying in that ground. So we'll have to wait as the week progresses if this value keeps increasing as more people learn about Iron Lung, as more people try to play it for themselves. We'll see if this value goes up during the week. But regardless, this is a great performance, and this once again shows just how this giant gap, right, in peak between these two games, this giant difference is another way of showing that once again, influencers do have some influence, vaga la redundancia, they have a good amount of influence on the performance of any given game. And in this case, this film that's once again really good film. If you haven't seen it and you can see it at some point, I highly recommend you do. But this shows that this love letter to the game that Markiplier did perform well. It did what probably Markiplier didn't envision, but it helped out the indie developer themselves because they saw more people coming into their game, and hopefully that indie developer can make more games in the future and be recognized for such a good game that he created, and maybe work with Markiplier more in the future. Regardless, this is great. I love to see how well an indie game of this scale has suddenly gotten this much popularity. Um, it just shows that even indie games, no matter how small of a creator or developer you are, your stories could still be the next big film out there, as long as you kind of collaborate with the right people. But hey, Markiplier, I genuinely really liked your film in general, the direction, everything about the film. So I generally would be interested in seeing you film and do more movies in the future. I don't know if that's something you want to do, but if you do, I would love to see more. So with that said, that does, however, conclude the recap for this week's news on the gaming marketplace. So I'm gonna read here. I'm gonna take a breather here and see what are the comments. So, you bought Doki Doki Literature Club instead of Corpse Party. That's a good option too. Doki Doki is a lot of fun too, or at least very interesting. Especially if you went in blind, but I doubt you went in blind. Bat Bunny one day. Yes, we love Bat Bunny around here, and it's gonna be in the Super Bowl. We love our Bat Bunny. Iron Lung, yes, we love Iron Lung. I never played nor watched Iron Lung. You never did? I haven't either, and I haven't watched Markiplier's playthrough either. So I've been playing around with the idea of playing the actual game myself. So I might play the game on stream at some point uh in the following days. So yeah, so Iron Lung, I want to try it out, especially it's just an hour. It's not a long game. I was thinking of maybe trying it out and see what parallels it has with the movie. I don't know if you were able to watch the movie, but really good. I went down a little bit. Biggest cliff dive ever. Lol. Yeah, it went down a little bit. Yeah, it did drop a lot from here to down here, but this is still higher than its average, so it makes sense. And once again, this is influence from people having just come out after seeing the movie. So this is a huge peak and a huge valley, but regardless, I think that seeing that it's doing still for now, still doing as good as the highest peak that we saw before, I think it's really good. So yeah. Any comments? Any questions? Anything you guys found interesting, chat, about the news this time around? That also being said, I do plan on not making on playing a game. I don't know if it's gonna be this weekend. Might be Monday. We'll see when. I plan on going live and playing the what was it called? a long game. It's like Space Warlord Baby Trading Simulator. That indie game. There's a demo for it, and it looks really fun. And it feels like it kind of resembles the content I do here. So you might buy you. I highly suggest you watch it. I'm gonna make it a little fun stream for that game. We'll see how things go. But yeah, look forward to me playing that game, and look forward to potentially me playing Iron Lung at some point. So yeah. Well, with that said, chat, I think we're gonna call it here. Am I did it good timing, around an hour, around my usual time. So thank you so much for watching. Don't don't ever insult my beach chair. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you guys in the next update of the gaming marketplace. Catch you later, guys. See ya.